The buyer of a vehicle must transfer ownership and registration? A. By the end of the year. B. Before the license plate expires. C. Within 15 days from the date of purchase. D. Within 60 days from the date of purchase. C. Within 15 days from the date of purchase. The purchaser of a vehicle must transfer ownership within 15 days to avoid penalty fees. If the vehicle is sold by a dealer, the transfer is the dealer's responsibility. You come to an intersection displaying a flashing red light. You should A. Come to a full stop and go when it is safe to do so. B. Stop only if other cars are also approaching the intersection. C. Stop only if other cars are already within the intersection. D. Slow down and be prepared to stop, if necessary. A. Come to a full stop and go when it is safe to do so. A flashing red traffic light has the same meaning as a stop sign. You must stop, yield the right of way, and go once it is safe. This sign means A. School ahead. B. School crossing. C. Pedestrian crossing. D. Construction workers on or near the roadway. C. Pedestrian crossing. Warning signs are usually diamond-shaped with black markings on a yellow background. They alert drivers to upcoming hazards. This sign indicates that there may be pedestrians crossing the road ahead. While driving, your wheels slip off the edge of the road. You should A. Jerk the steering wheel to force the vehicle back onto the pavement. B. Speed up and steer back onto the pavement gradually. C. Slam on your brakes and stop. D. Slow down by gently using the brakes. Turn the steering wheel to return to the pavement at a safe speed. D. Slow down by gently using the brakes. Turn the steering wheel to return to the pavement at a safe speed. If your vehicle begins to leave the road, continue to drive with the wheels off the pavement and reduce your speed by gently applying the brakes. When at a safe speed, turn the steering wheel to return to the pavement. Do not attempt to force your vehicle back onto the pavement by sharply turning the steering wheel.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
This road sign means A. The left lane is reserved for vehicles with a specific number of occupants. B. Specific turning movements are allowed from specific lanes. C. Do not enter. D. Drivers in both lanes are responsible for merging smoothly. A. The left lane is reserved for vehicles with a specific number of occupants. This sign marks a high-occupancy vehicle (HOV) lane. HOV lanes are reserved for use by buses and vehicles with a driver and one or more passengers, as indicated on the sign. This sign means A. Curve ahead. B. Roadwork ahead. C. Merging traffic. D. No left turn. A. Curve ahead. Warning signs prepare drivers for upcoming road conditions and hazards and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign alerts drivers to an upcoming curve in the road. Smoking and preparing to smoke while driving. A. Do not affect driving abilities. B. Help maintain driver alertness. C. Are distracting activities. D. Are not distracting activities. C. are distracting activities. Smoking while driving can create dangerous distractions by causing you to take your hands off the wheel and/or your eyes off the road. Highway hypnosis is a driving condition that can result from a. Staring at the roadway for long periods of time. b. Frequent rest stops. c. Too much sleep the night before your trip. d. Short trips on expressways. a. Staring at the roadway for long periods of time. Highway hypnosis happens when you stare straight ahead at the roadway for long periods of time and stop actively scanning ahead, behind, and around your vehicle. This can lead you to zone out, making you very likely to crash into traffic slowing or stopping ahead of you. Distracted driving is a. Very uncommon. b. Extremely risky behavior. c. Nothing to be concerned about. d. No less safe than driving under any other conditions. b. Extremely risky behavior. Distracted driving is extremely risky behavior that puts not only you and your passengers in danger, but also endangers pedestrians, bicyclists, and other motorists sharing the road. Focused attention on driving helps to prevent crashes. Before you change directions, you must keep your turn signals on for at least a. 50 feet. b. 75 feet. c. 100 feet. d. 125 feet. c. 100 feet. Before changing directions, you should signal for at least 100 feet. Car drivers should know that large trucks a. Have large blind spots. b. Can stop more quickly than passenger vehicles. c. Do not need more room to maneuver than passenger vehicles. d. All of the above. a. Have large blind spots. A large truck has large blind spots to the front, sides, and rear of the vehicle. Avoid lingering in these areas. Because of their larger size and weight, trucks require more room to maneuver and stop than passenger vehicles. This sign means a. Left turn yield on green. b. One-way. c. Cattle crossing. d. Two-way left turn. a. Left turn yield on green. Regulation signs regulate traffic speed and movement, displaying rules which drivers must obey. This regulation sign indicates that drivers turning left at a green light must yield to oncoming traffic and may complete the turn when it is safe to do so. You are approaching a railroad crossing that has no visible gates or flashing lights, but has a standard crossbuck. You should a. Approach all tracks with extreme caution and cross only when you know that there is no train coming. b. Turn your radio down to hear if there may be an approaching train. c. Only continue once cleared to do so by a flagger, if applicable. d. All of the above. d. All of the above. You must approach all railroad crossings with extreme caution and cross only when you know that no train is coming from either direction. If there is a flagger at a crossing, you must obey all of their instructions. This sign means a. A left curve is ahead. b. A series of curves is ahead. c. An S curve is ahead. d. The road will be slippery when wet. d. The road will be slippery when wet. This sign warns that especially slippery conditions exist when the road is wet. When parking uphill next to a curb, set the parking brake and A. Keep the rear tires against the curb. B. Keep the front tires straight ahead. C. Turn your steering wheel away from the curb. D. Turn your steering wheel toward the curb. C. Turn your steering wheel away from the curb. When parking facing uphill on a street that has a curb, set your parking brake and turn your steering wheel away from the curb. This way, if your vehicle starts to roll, it will roll into the curb. This sign means A. No right turn. B. You must turn right. C. Watch for traffic on your right. D. Don't park on the right side of the street. A. No right turn. A sign with a red circle and slash over a symbol indicates that the action represented by the symbol, in this example, a right turn, is not allowed. Night driving can be more difficult than driving during the day because A. Cars overheat more quickly at night. B. Visibility is reduced in the dark. C. It is more likely to be raining at night. D. You are more likely to encounter a motorcycle at night. B. Visibility is reduced in the dark. At night, your field of vision is reduced. To make sure you are able to react to hazards on the roadway, always use appropriate headlights. Drive slowly enough that you are able to stop within the distance that you can see ahead. When a vehicle with an anti-lock braking system starts to lose traction on a slippery road, drivers should A. Pump the brakes. B. Press and hold the brake pedal. C. Press and hold the gas pedal. D. Lightly tap the brakes. B. Press and hold the brake pedal. If their vehicle loses traction on a slippery road, a driver with an anti-lock braking system (ABS) needs to press down hard on the brake pedal, hold it, and steer out of danger. In an emergency situation, the ABS automatically pumps the brakes at a faster rate than the driver could. Removing steady pressure from the brake pedal or pumping the brakes will disengage the ABS. On a freeway, you realize you missed your turn or exit. You should A. Make the turn quickly from your lane of travel. B. Stop and back up. C. Continue driving until you reach the next turn, exit, or other location where you can safely turn around. D. Signal other drivers to stop so you can turn. C. Continue driving until you reach the next turn, exit, or other location where you can safely turn around. If you miss your turn or exit, do not back up, but go on to the next turn or exit where you can safely turn around. It is illegal to back up on a shoulder or a freeway. This sign is a A. Service sign. B. Regulatory sign. C. Warning sign. D. Stop sign. C. Warning sign. Warning signs are usually diamond-shaped and yellow with black lettering or symbols. They warn drivers about special situations or potential hazards ahead. At an intersection, a signal showing a green arrow and a red light means A. You may safely turn in the direction of the arrow. B. Stop, then proceed straight through the intersection. C. Stop, even if turning in the direction of the green arrow. D. All traffic must turn in the direction of the arrow. A. You may safely turn in the direction of the arrow. A green arrow means that you can safely turn in the direction of the arrow. If other vehicles or pedestrians are already in the intersection, you must yield the right-of-way before turning. You may pass another vehicle if the line dividing your lane from the lane you wish to enter as a fill in the blank line. A. Broken white. B. Double solid yellow. C. Solid yellow. D. Solid white. A. Broken white. White lines separate traffic lanes traveling in the same direction. You may cross broken white lines to pass, as long as the passing lane is clear. If you change addresses, you must notify the Department of Licensing. A. Within 10 days. B. Within 30 days. C. At the next renewal. D. Whenever your license address doesn't match your checkbook address. A. Within 10 days. You must notify the Department of Licensing within 10 days if your address or legal name have changed. A broken yellow line alongside a solid yellow line means A. Passing on the left is permitted from either direction. B. Passing is permitted from the lane next to the broken line. C. Passing is permitted from the lane next to the solid line. D. Passing is not allowed from either direction. B. Passing is permitted from the lane next to the broken line. A broken yellow line alongside a solid yellow line means that passing is allowed from the lane on the side next to the broken line. This sign means A. There is a 35 miles per hour speed zone after the curve ahead. B. Drive no less than 35 miles per hour around the curve ahead. C. Curve ahead. Speeds of 35 miles per hour or slower are recommended. D. Stay in the right-hand lane if not driving over 35 miles per hour. C. Curve ahead. Speeds of 35 miles per hour or slower are recommended. This sign indicates that the road curves ahead in the direction of the arrow and that driving at the indicated speed of 35 miles per hour is recommended.